Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thanks, Anurag. First of all, thank you for accepting this coffee with Amar session, and I'm so excited. It was like we used to see your videos when I joined my first company. I get at that time we did not had this like YouTube channels at that time, so you guys were there. Rohit was there. You used to record the videos for your juniors so that other time someone gets onboarded onto that project, or the learning of service now training was done by your videos. And now uh, sharing service now community rising star team member, and you have been into this service now community from last 10 years, holding that a perfect MVP award. So how you feel?
So firstly, Amar, thank you for having me. It's always good to catch up with old mates, and we've known each other for I don't know how many years now. Feels very weird to say that yes, it's been 10 years on the community itself. I still feel I'm not that old. So, but yeah, sometimes while talking to someone in the ServiceNow ecosystem, it does feel that yeah, I've been in this ServiceNow space for a very long time. Uh, yeah, and the journey has been great. I don't know. There are thankless. There n number of people, so many people that I have to be thankful for. Uh, you said about the trainings. I actually had forgotten about it completely. Uh, that we used to record those things and we used to train people. And I remember at the time itself, I used to feel that I don't know much, but I'm training. I'm supposed to tell the guys, and what if somebody asks a question and I can't answer? So I always had that. But yeah, thankfully, I was able to navigate my way through it without embarrassing myself much.
I remember, like, there is one thing where on the client side itself, uh, you can get the sys id. So you were the first person who bought that. Somehow you came to know and you added into community that dot get display box, if you remember. So from
Yeah,
yeah, something was going on, some
yeah,
project was there, and I wanted to populate this on the client side. And then I went into community and I found, like, oh, Anurag has written something, so this will work. This is how it used to be. Like, I have seen multiple times, uh, your answers are very cut to cut, simple. Use this, it will work. So from that time, if I talk about community, I have that image. I have that say face remembering. Okay, who is Anurag Tripathi? The new things, bringing new solutions. Which
yeah.
like if I want to auto populate, I have to write script include, call it on client side. But this was the magic thing, and it was
Hmm.
there in 2016. At that time, nobody was aware of it. So you were the one who posted that on community.
Yeah. So yeah, so I think when I started working with ServiceNow, this is back in 2012, 2013, that time, there were not a lot of resources out there. So even ServiceNow Docs was not there. We used to have ServiceNow Wiki back then. So Wiki was ServiceNow official documentation. Then there were a few places that gave you a lot of tips and tricks and hacks of how to do things. One was, I remember, ServiceNow Guru, that blog website from Mark. It was the Bible from then. And then there was ServiceNow Community, which was just emerging. So, uh, yeah, we used to go there, find things. The community was quite small. And as you said, like you were one of the guys who probably saw some of my solutions or my recording for the trainings and stuff. So I think that's where I started getting into these things. That I found something, some tip or some trick that might help. So I used to tell these things to the guys, to my peers as well, because at the time, I think honestly, I would say everything was new. Anything you do as simple as a one single line script, but it would solve so many things. So it was all new and it was all exciting to work back then.
I remember, Anurag, like at that time, service now was a thing. Like you can do anything in that. You can write codes, multiple times codes. So there was no such thing like configuration, customization. And people were more like into customization because service now allows that. But now you have seen trend right now. Service now says low code, no code. So how you think, like in 2012 when you came and you had that aspiration of becoming a very big developer, if I remember, and you guys used to
Yeah.
love coding. So how you see like the customization now and how it is available now? Because if you see workflow also, we have flow designer where we don't have to write scripts now. Actions are available. So what changes you have
But
seen
I
till
think you write actions. If there is a developer that tells me they don't write actions, custom actions, I'll really question it. Uh, but what the point that you brought up, it's very good. So my thought is that over the years, ServiceNow also has changed its narrative. Initially, the platform was being sold as easy to customize. That was ServiceNow's selling point. Whatever you want to build, you can build up here. You want to create 1,000 tables, create 1,000 tables, right? We can
right.
support it. It's easily customizable. That was the solution. And then companies went ahead and did that. And I wouldn't say that I did not. However, I always had one thing in my mind that I always used to ask why we are doing something. Like sometimes developers don't challenge that. From a very early junior developer stage itself, I always used to question that this is something you're doing. Why are we doing it? An alternate solution already exists, maybe, or something we can leverage by tweaking little things rather than building a whole thing from ground up. So I had that. I wouldn't say I won all the battles. I lost some of the battles, and we built some mammoth solutions which really did not age well. But at the same time, we did build a lot of very good things as well. uh, like I remember, and you would have seen this as well, that there was a time when we used to build solutions where we used to build custom table which would hold the data, and these data will essentially drive your solution, drive the flow. If the choice X is this, choice Y is this, do this. And we used to give the customer control of that table, that okay, we built everything, this table is where it's essentially a remote control.
Decision tables. Yeah, decision tables
Yeah.
basically. Now we have
Yeah,
out of the
exactly.
box
Now
decision
it has
tables.
evolved as decision tables. Yes, yes. But and then there was a time when ServiceNow said we will start charging you for custom tables. You cannot build 1,000 custom tables. So those good practices, best practices has evolved over time. Also, I think ServiceNow as a platform has evolved over time. Initially, there were less capabilities, so they were allowing customers to go ahead and build what you want. Now there are a lot of capabilities on the platform. So do you really need to build everything? It's essentially that. Um, and I like in my day-to-day work, I've worked with multiple different clients. I've also worked with companies where I was essentially the client, but we always have internal stakeholders. I always try to tell them and convince them that any product, any industry product which is used globally by so many different customers, they are built after a lot of market research. They see what are the industry standards. They do their own research before building a product and start offering you. So I understand when you say that our process is here and what ServiceNow is offering maybe 70, 80%, 90% close. But if you're saying that our process is not even 10% matching to what ServiceNow offers, I would say that you need to question your process. Maybe you are not as per the industry standard.
No, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because recently we were implementing something and CSM we were doing in our company, and I got to know about service organization model, which is a very new thing. There are very less videos on service organization model. It's a very interesting topic, that because once we start exploring the things, okay, this can be done by out of the box. I don't have to create the tables, okay, and I am
Yeah.
licensed. I have the licenses of that thing. I just install the plugins and I out of the box I get the tables, everything. So it's just like as you said, we need to do some research, understand where our model fits, and try to adapt from the service now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And this is like I would always say, like I always try to tell people that I love ServiceNow as a platform. It has given me so many things, given it's essentially my bread and butter. But
Yeah.
There are certain things that you always question, even on the ServiceNow side. I've worked on certain products where ServiceNow is not going to evolve that product. So it's not, it might not be the best use for a process to come into your ServiceNow ecosystem because that product has essentially met its life. You know, it's not going to be evolved, it's not going to be innovated. So there is always a trade-off. There is always a business need that you have to question what value you are going to generate. If that value is best achievable by ServiceNow for your company, that's your way to go. If it is best achievable by certain customization, that's your way to go. I cannot imagine there is any customer in the world that is 100% out of the box. It just cannot be. I don't think even ServiceNow would be. You know, they would have certain things they have to do every now and then because they're building an industry level platform. But when you start implementing it on different uh, different industries, like healthcare will have certain own requirements, certain own compliances. Banking will have something else. Education will have something else. So there are always slight flavors that you have to change, and that is okay. I think that's absolutely fine. uh, as a ServiceNow architect, you and me, we come in there and we try to see what is the best place you can make those change, so that it goes with the platform. It doesn't stop, doesn't hurt your upgrades or performance and these things.
The important is upgrade only, Anurag, right? When
Hmm.
we do customization, and one more thing is there.
I think upgrade is the small thing. The important thing is security. Important thing is performance. Important thing is what is allowed or approved architecture by your company. So ServiceNow is a SaaS platform. A lot of companies don't allow SaaS to SaaS internet connections. So so I worked with a approved certified app store product which use basic authentication. So even if you're given millions of dollars, but you can't do it, and you have to verify that architecture. So I think these are the things which are more important at some point of time. Upgrades, fine, it is within ServiceNow, and yeah, you might have touched something which is now skipping, so you may choose to accept it, reject it. It's fine. Uh, it's just about time. But the other things is, I would say, make or break how your product will be in the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, yeah, correct. So recently we were doing one integration, and the connection was not happening with Auth 2.0, and we shared the client secret key, everything. Then they were like, we have some issue from our end, we are not able to configure it, but for testing purpose, can we use basic auth? We said, yeah, you can use, but when it will go into the production, it cannot go with basic auth. So
Hmm,
refresh token based things are, they are
hmm,
more
hmm.
secured. And if we follow that basic auth architecture, again we have to take approvals from, from a security guy, and need to tell them
Absolutely.
what
Hmm.
exactly, why exactly you are not able to do with auth 2.0. So yeah, so yeah,
Yeah.
we do consider this performance as well all the time
Hmm,
when we are implementing it. Recently, I went to the UK Snug event, was there in Manchester. So it happens in
hmm,
Manchester, London, and Scotland. So
hmm.
in a year, three times it happens. I think when you were in UK, you might have attended that UK Snug event.
I think so. Yeah, I remember we used to go to the London Now Forum. Yeah, it used to be called that. Yeah, it was fun event.
The good part about was, they take a topics, they take three topics, four topics, okay, and they have a round table discussion. So there will be expertise from the service now, there will be expertise from the industry, from some of the clients, and they sit on the table and you can discuss a lot of things, different minds are coming. And that one day you feel like, okay, I want to discuss about platform performance, so let's go there.
Yeah.
And it will be a discussion for 3 hours, like 1 hour, 1 hour with a break. So three
Hmm,
round table discussion will be there. So like if you want to add on some points, if you want to understand what exactly is going on, if your performance is not good, you can ask them directly there. So it was so amazing, this event was. I really liked it, and I say to everyone, like, don't, if you want to attend, developer meetups are also there, but I feel that is not that, you know knowledge based because it's just of 1 hour or it's just for networkings. But this one was mainly for knowledge sharing. And when you come out of that event, Anurag, you feel like you did something and you have learned something, you know.
That extremely, like, I think it's very good. And my suggestion to the audience is like, there are a lot of people that sometimes hesitate saying that, maybe I'm not prepared or good enough to go into that circle or crowd. Don't think that. I cannot even tell you how many times I've been the most stupid guy in a table. But when I came out of that discussion, I was slightly less stupid because just by sitting between group of smart people, learning and seeing what they're talking about helps. It helps enhance your knowledge. This is how you learn. This is how you go out of your comfort zone. And I think on the community itself, like we are talking about ServiceNow community, and I've been an MVP there. I cannot tell you how many times I have answered something that I did not know. I saw a question, it just sounded interesting or valid that, okay, this is a valid problem. And then on your PDI, before that, we didn't even have PDIs, right? PDIs also is,
Demo instance,
for
demo
me,
instance,
for my generation, it's a fairly new thing. But we used to have your own instance or your dev or something. You
demo,
go and
yeah,
try
demo.
to write something, find a solution, and you post it. So it's not that you always answer something that you already know. It's never going to happen, right? You have to find answers, then you give answers. You're stuck in a problem, you might be stuck in a problem for 3 months, and then you find a solution, and that makes you happy, right? Finally did it. I would suggest all the audience go to such events, go to such problems, read what others are facing. It will just help you. It will just help you, not just like the motivation is not giving an answer and getting that green tick mark correct answer. The motivation is saw a problem, you fix that problem. It took you so many hours, right? But you fix the problem. I think that's what gives you happiness.
Yeah, but yeah, that correct answer also gives a happiness because a lot of people were there and man,
So
yeah,
incentive
yeah,
always helps. Incentive always helps, and like initially, yes, like before some years before, ServiceNow had a point system. So I remember a long time back on a correct answer, something on a helpful answer, you got 5 points, something like that. At one point, it was 40 points, and like I was in that habit of seeing my points grow, and all of a sudden it started growing. Like you get a correct answer, and it like 40 points. I was like, Jesus, this is massive. This is great. And but I get that. Like uh, acknowledgement of your effort, like you put in effort, right? And if somebody comes back and acknowledges it, says that fine, your answer helped me, something worked. It definitely makes you feel good. Uh, Incentive is always nice. But at the same time, I think that's not the only thing you have to learn or run for, right? End of the day, there are so many things. There's so, I would say, there are so many questions that I know I have answered correctly, but somebody just did not mark it, or somebody just left and did not come back. It's fine. I still take peace because it added to my knowledge, and that knowledge never gets wasted. I might have used it a million times in my own work. I might have answered other questions for one thing that I've already done and searched. So, uh,
I get it. Yeah, yeah.
good to get it, but if you don't get it, head high, move forward next.
No fault. Yeah, yeah. So, like, if I'm talking about events, Anurag, so when I was in India, it's been like 2.5 years in this company, and when I moved to UK, and I had ample of time on weekends, right? So here
Hmm.
we don't have much friends like that. So what should I do? So at that time, I started contributing to communities, and then I started attending events here because where
Hmm.
I come from, like India, Mumbai. Okay, so I have never seen such events there happening. So have you seen these changes like in our country abroad? So there the events are very less as compared to the UK market, or I can talk about your place, Ireland.
Yeah.
What
So
is
I
your point?
think so. now ServiceNow has created that ecosystem that if somebody wants to create a developer event or a meetup of some sort, it is possible. And now India also has a lot of events. Now India has CreatorCon and multiple developer meetups and snugs and all sort of things. So I think it's we are past that now. Uh, when you moved to UK just 2.5 years, I think we might have already been on the other side of the hill. But
Hmm.
UK, like London, I think I honestly, honest to God, in my heart, I feel London is the center of the earth. And anything, even though it's a US company, but London will have flavors of it. London will have events. London will have uh, everything. So London, I don't think ever faced any scarcity of those things. However, yes, in other places, I think it's growing and it is changing. There are certain places where you still find it hard to get events or something very close to you. Uh, but at the same time, there is a trade-off, right? ServiceNow can invest where they are seeing benefit, where there are more people, right? So uh, I'd, I, I would not say that it is bad. There is always scope of improvement. Let's just say that.
Yeah, yeah. And like now, like when we were there, I think in 2015, 16, we don't had these meetups, right? It was just
Yeah.
like, yeah. So, and at that time, we used to say we work for service now. People used to be like, what exactly you do? We don't understand service now. So now it's became like,
Even now, I think a lot of times people see and they think of ServiceNow as just incident and change. That is still there for a lot of people. There are certain people who know it a little more. There are certain people who know it way more. But if you generally talk, like I've spoken to so many people, what do you do? Work on ServiceNow and this and that. I say, oh yeah, we raise change request on ServiceNow. Good. So, but I know ServiceNow can do a lot of more things, and there are a lot of companies that are using it. Even for my company, like we have used ServiceNow in a way that you don't see ServiceNow in the URL. We have a custom URLs. So some users might know this is ServiceNow. Some users might not know this is ServiceNow. A lot of times users wouldn't care, right? You go to an application, do something, and just come back to do your primary job.
and if we talk about this thing, like as we are talking about the upgrades, like previously how it was, like now if we see in a year we are doing service now is bringing two upgrades, right? So
Hmm.
every year two upgrades every year. So they have sort of letters now, right? They have started. You
Hmm.
guys started from A, right? Aspen, and now it has
I
completed
started
till
from
Z.
B.
B.
Berlin was the for me. Berlin was the first instance, and yeah. So and
The changes,
upgrades were
Anurag.
weird. Hmm.
Yeah, I have been talking about the changes. Like, so you started with B and Z is completed. Now again it has started with A. So you have got
Yeah,
a circle has been done.
about to complete full circle. Yeah, I'm about to complete full circle. Yeah,
Previously it was not
and
that updates, right? Now service now is
yeah,
increased everything, and previously it must be like in a year, 2 year one upgrade was there, right?
yeah. So it
How it
was.
was.
I don't know how frequent it was, but it
Mhm.
was less. I think
Yes,
they used to have one upgrade a year, and even in the upgrade, the hot fixes and patches were less. Now, ServiceNow as a platform itself has grown so rapidly that they will need to have more patches, security upgrades, and things like that. Uh, Back then, I remember there was no rule for that you have to stay n minus one even n minus two
that's what
or
I was.
something. That was not a rule. That
Minus
rule
one.
came
Yeah.
yeah later, and when that rule came, I remember the company at the time I was working for, we were already way behind. So it was fine. And we got the support. It's not like we did not. But all those things have changed, yes.
If we talk about,
And upgrades, I remember upgrades were not as difficult because the platform itself was not as big. Now, like earlier, like talking about 2012, 11, maybe, platform had few things only, right? You had your
incidents
basic
or
ITSM
yeah,
process. Yeah. So there were less things, less changes. Ticket number could be higher for client to client. Like some clients might have a huge volume of tickets, but there were less processes on the platform. Now the processes on the platform itself has increased massively. Earlier, you used like back in Berlin, there was just the classic UI, the native UI, what we call. Now you have your portals, your workspaces, your employee centers, your analytics reporting, and all those things. So there's so many components on the platform, even if you're using just ITSM, that upgrades are more frequent, uh, more critical. It takes a little more time, I would say.
So about the certification, Anurag, I was very much interested. Like in
Hmm.
2011, I think when you joined, it was just one certification, CSA, or
Yeah. There was CSA. I don't remember if it was there when I started working on the platform or it was added later, but I remember there was CSA and CIS.
yes,
There were two certifications, and the companies used to ask you to sign a bond and all those things if they will.
sponsor you.
Yeah, it was weird. It was weird. So weird. Why I say you have to do the certification, and they selected certain guys, and I was one of the chosen ones. So you have to do the certification. You have to sign a bond to do the certification. They'll pay only when you pass. And then we used to go to the government authority to go get it notarized, that bond. And you have to pay for the bond. But like, why should I pay for the bond? But yeah, it was like that. And I remember I did not do certification for a very long time. I think till 2012, 13, I thought ServiceNow might stay, might not stay. Like there are a lot of tools and products that will come and go. Uh, and I was not too keen to join ServiceNow as well. I remember I used to work on product. Like I was coming from technology, so I
Hmm.
was working on Java and PHP. I wanted to stick to that and not confine myself to a product. Yeah, like as luck would have it, I worked on it. I kept working on it. I continued working on it, and the platform kept evolving so much. It always kept me on my toes. I think that was one of the things that always kept me interested and kept me going, because even today, like I've been on the platform for over 10 years, but there is so many things that I don't know about. I've never looked at it, I've never touched it. So there is so much more to learn. It's always exciting. It keeps growing. Now with the whole AI fad, it's just uh, moving forward. So I've just kept on the platform and I've always kept going.
This is the point, right? Like now we did our Xanadu upgrade on October last year,
Mhm.
and now we are planning for Yokohama upgrade next month.
Mhm. Mhm.
So you get,
Yeah.
so you have not been like your mind has not been set also for Xanadu, and again you're thinking about Yokohama. So that keeps us
I,
accelerating, you know.
Yeah, so there are three, like for you upgrade, I think I classify it as in three bucket. One thing is you are upgrading because you don't want to fall out of support. You have to stay in -2. That's why you're upgrading, right? That's a basic reason. Second reason is just your technical upgrade. There might be security patches, there might be things and bugs that are getting fixed that you need, so you're upgrading. That's your technical upgrade essentially. And now the last one, this is the most important, which I don't know how many customers are doing. It's very good if they're doing that. On every upgrade, there are new products and new features, and they are leveraging it. So if you're doing the third one, then it's extremely good. And then it is difficult also because, as you said, you're doing two upgrades a year. Let's say it will take you 1 month to do an upgrade. So that's your 2 months gone. 10 months remains. And in 10 months, you have to look at new features, test them, deploy them, use them, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, I think there are a lot of customers that are doing the technical upgrades. Some use certain features, but I don't know how many are using. Like I've worked my previous company, they were very good. They were very innovative and they were very heavily invested with ServiceNow, and we were doing two upgrades a year. And like before even we started upgrade, there were people with like people as in people like me, employees and architects, who would be looking at the new features and presenting it to business and getting their buy-in. And even the business was on board. Anything good and new they see, like, yeah, let's go for it, funding approved, yes, go ahead. So it was very fun to work there. And Yeah, there are certain places where like yeah, you have to upgrade, but you upgrade with the sense that we don't fall out of support.
Yeah, that's the point. ServiceNow also wanted, and might be in the past they might have seen, like, uh, the new releases were there, and people are on the old version till now. So that's the reason they bought
Hmm.
this thing n minus two and
Yeah.
minus one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because if you,
And it becomes difficult for them to support as well, right? They like
yeah,
and it's not just service now. If you look at it with anyone, if you take out your old phone which you had in 2015, your iPhone, that OS is not supported now. It's gone. So iOS keeps upgrading. The last few versions are in support. Same goes with Windows. Same goes with every software. So there is a life cycle to it, which of course we know in
that's right.
Sun. There is a life cycle to a product. It goes out of support. It is sunset at one point of time as well. So it's the same with ServiceNow. They have to support and manage the infrastructure. They have their data centers. They cannot have a customer which is very old on the same data center. There are threats and vulnerabilities, etc. So there's a lot more to that general discussion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a topic of discussion, like, upgrades, performance, lot of things. Yeah. So if you see this also, Anurag, now, like, we were settling our mind for, let's say, Gen AI. Service now introduced the Now Assist. Then Service now, we were getting, used to Now Assist. Service now bought this agentic AI now. So what do you feel like in a year, like last year we heard about Now Assist, and now we are here and we
Mhm.
think of implementing it, and Service now brings something new then. Yeah, okay. That is old now.
Yeah,
You talk about agentic AI now. So
yeah.
it is changing very, very fast. This,
It is changing very fast, and like with AI being Gen AI, not even
mm,
AI, with Gen AI being such an integral part of the world today, I think it's it's a very fast ride. Like everybody is on it. If you are not on it, you are essentially you won't even realize in a week you feel like you're outdated and you don't know what people are talking about. uh, Agentic AI, yes, that's the new big thing, and that whole knowledge conference like a couple of weeks back, it's been around agentic AI, uh, and it's coming. I think like with the AI, I was in one of the events of ServiceNow, and there was this uh, very intelligent CEO of Century called Priya Lakhani. And she said a very smart thing which sort of stuck. Like a lot of times you hear people saying that if like AI or Gen AI is going to take your job. I don't think that's the case, she said. She said, if you use Gen AI, then you're okay. If you don't use Gen AI, then somebody who uses Gen AI is going to take your job. So I think it made sense to me. With Now Assist, I've seen the features, I've explored the features. That lovely. There is always scope of betterment, and ServiceNow is heavily invested. Like uh, even when I started looking at Now Assist, in a couple of months, that was not even a version upgrade because Now Assist comes as a store app. So they kept upgrading while I was looking at analysis that okay, these are the five offerings today. Uh, in a week or two they added two more, in a week or two they added one more. So it was just getting out of hand to even control it. And the same is like this, it's just expanding and it is evolving. And yeah, I'm sure if you think that there are 10 features today with agentic AI, it's gonna be better and it's gonna be smarter over time.
yeah. Because if I remember correctly, when I used to implement this Now virtual agent, okay, I
Virtual
was so
agent,
happy,
NLU and
virtual agent.
NLP.
And
Hmm.
yeah, so I was so happy to build that flow. And when we built like 5 to 10 conversations, and they were so happy, client was happy, this will save a lot of time of us. They don't have to raise a ticket, they don't have to go to anyone. Then afterwards, Teams integration came. And with that also, it was a changer, right? You don't have to log
Hmm.
into service now. You can raise a ticket
Yeah.
from Teams itself, and all the people are there on Teams. And we were able to, digest it. Service now came up with altogether this, Now Assist. And then agentic AI is like more like into, virtual agent, right? So they have their
Hmm.
own studio, agentic AI studio. How much I understand from one of the, the event where we saw actually it is coming. So they said now they have one word. Like if your data is not correct, then AI is not going to
Hmm.
work, right? So that is
Yeah.
the main thing. So
And
they bought data fabrics,
yes. Yeah. So I
data
think
factory.
that
Yeah, yeah,
goes back, like even if you take a step back and look at predictive intelligence, the machine learning
yeah.
solutions. So I've worked on it extensively over the years, and it always came back to this, that any machine learning solution, if your data is not good, it is not going to do anything. It is going to it'll start hurting your system more than it helps your system, right? If you don't use it wrong, if you
Yes.
don't use it right. uh, and then came the LLM, the Now Assist. Now Assist does not depend on your data. You might choose to share your data, like it's a switch. So as a
Hmm.
customer, you might choose to share the data, which will help improve your system. However, those are pre-trained models, right? All the LLMs. So it doesn't depend on your data. But with
Right.
agentic AI, yes, it's going to be dependent on your data because that's its source. That's where it's going to search and look and come back. So uh, I think we are going back into that. But at the same time, the reliance on good data is so important. And if even if you leave all the Now Assist and AI and everything, if you just don't have good data, you will always struggle with everything. It's like the foundation of your house, right? If your foundation is weak, you'll always keep having problems. So having the right CSDM model or CMDB model, that's so important. Uh, and that's where sometimes you struggle, because sometimes you build certain things with one assumption. Over the time, good practices change. And then after, like, you take a tangent, right? So you have, this is the model you're going in. You take one slight tangent, then after one upgrade, to keep your system alive, you deviate
More.
slightly
Right.
again, and after 5 years, if you look back, you're like, this is where the industry is, and you are not even in the frame. You are just far, far away. So maintain, like, building it right and maintaining it is very important. And yes, with solutions like Now Assist and machine learning and Gen AI, yes, now it is. If you leverage those things, these are all automated magical things. It won't work well if you don't have the foundation data right.
So on this, like if with data, ServiceNow wants to do a lot of things and they want to help customer as well with data. So I was able to see, ServiceNow has recently bought multiple companies.
Yeah.
So I was in an event yesterday. So there we met some people from data.ai. ServiceNow has taken that company last week itself. So that,
Hmm.
and they were telling us what exactly they do. So they will start shaping your data good, and they will follow the CSDM model, and somehow they will try to help you in your CMDB data as well. So, and there was one more company which ServiceNow bought last month. It was related to AI itself. So ServiceNow also wants to grow, and as you said, right, um, quickly they want to bring some models. Quickly they want to make some changes. They want to bring, like you were talking about that Now Assist thing. So there are, let's say in agentic AI, there will be like 5, 6 topics will be there. Or obviously, after 1 year, it can go till 20 also,
Yeah.
because ServiceNow is heavily invested, I believe now, and it is investing as well now.
Hmm.
And on different companies, if they don't have that expertise, I feel they are trying to bring that expertise from other companies.
ServiceNow, like, this is something I've worked very close with some of the people of ServiceNow, because we are the like, I think everyone is Impact customer now, but we are very close with ServiceNow for a lot of implementations. So I get to see certain things under the hood, like what their strategy is, what they're doing, if they've hired someone, if they've hired a company or bought a company. So those are some interesting discussions, and I think you've touched the nerve right there. So ServiceNow looks at the world where it is going. It sees right now like AI, like that's the thing. Now it doesn't shy away from investing and aggressively pursuing that lead. And I think that's one of the reasons that has kept ServiceNow alive and on top of its game for so long, and it will keep growing because it is not satisfied with what it is doing and just sits there. It is not trying to save money and try, it takes risk, it goes for big swings. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But if it works, then you come out on top. So ServiceNow is aggressive here in terms of hiring, getting the right people, getting the right product strategies, acquiring companies. Like, acquisitions are not easy. Acquisitions are a nightmare. But yes, ServiceNow doesn't shy away from that. And I've worked with certain companies, like MoveWorks was something that they recently acquired.
Ooh,
So
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was one of, I think MoveWorks was I worked with implementing MoveWorks before with, and it has heavily integrated with ServiceNow, and I know from like some of the MoveWorks people very well. I like that part. It's quite nice. And now with that acquisition, I have certain idea of what ServiceNow plans to do with it and what we might expect in future. So I think these are very bold decisions that has kept ServiceNow in the running always.
So you were saying in our discussion itself, at that time in 2011, 12, Anurag, you had the feeling, will you continue with service now or not? Because you were thinking there will be other tools, competitor tools as well.
Hmm.
But what is your feeling now? Like now you are very confident
I'm
and
not
it will
not
work.
just
Service now is
confident.
good.
I feel myself to be very lucky that I was in that position and I stayed there because yeah, like I've seen other friends and colleagues. I know this general idea of how the market is, but I never felt that my job is going to be in problem, or even if it is, I'll find another job. Like I think that's a very big statement to have in today's world where there are so many layoffs and recessions and whatnot. So I think it's quite nice to have that comfort, and it is because I'm in that ServiceNow ecosystem. So it's not just that what I think. I'm thankful that it happened for me that way, and yeah, I did not make any foolish decisions to
Mm.
move away from that.
I remember that time, during your time talking about when I joined in 2015, our company, and we were in a project where it was you guys have worked for 10 years there, like that project was running from 10 years
Hmm.
and you guys might have worked there for 2 3 years, and it was oversaturated, like it was saturated, sorry, it was saturated. So we did not had a lot of work there at that time in 2015, because and everyone, like the senior guy, they used to say, we don't understand now. This is a tool. Anytime it can deprecate as well. The other can come. So when I joined in 2015, at that time also, we had the same feeling,
Hmm.
because talking to our friends and colleagues, they are in Java, they are doing magical things. They are writing good codes, and they used to share with us whenever we used to meet. College friends. What you are doing, Amarit? I used to say nothing much. So at that time, I also had the feeling like, should I join some technology things, which have some basic coding,
Hmm.
like C++, Java, like that. Something happens to this, tool. Like if we talk about BMC Remedy, so they did not make a lot of upgrades, and now we don't listen much. And all the BMC developers, all the architects have moved to service now.
Hmm.
So that feeling is always there, but I feel very thankful and confident as well now, Anurag, because I can easily retire with service now. I feel like, because the way
No,
it is changing,
now
the
I
way
feel
it
that
is
I hope that
adopted.
happens, and now I don't find myself courageous enough to go back and start learning from the scratch. So I hope what you're saying
Yes, yeah.
happens. I hope we stay relevant till the end of the time. Uh, but yeah, like that evolving, that journey so far, it's been massive, and I feel that I've like we've been in that generation that we have seen that for so many things in technology in general, right? When we were little, there were no mobile phones. There was just a landline phone. So
And
we've seen that grow, and it's a massive thing. Now it's a little thing that has camera and music and all those things. So I think we've seen that technology and time evolve. When we came to the time where you start working and do a job, we got in the nice ecosystem of ServiceNow, which has been relevant from its inception. It is still very, very relevant, and I hope it stays relevant till we retire, and I hope for the future generations as well.
And like you have worked in India as well,
Yes,
Anurag, and you have worked for a
I've
lot of projects
I've
as well. So
moved around a lot. I've lived in, I think, 3, 4 countries. I don't know, maybe 20 cities. So I've moved around a lot in my life. Uh, yeah, now I feel like I don't have any immediate wish to move any further. I'm very, very tired. I just would like to stay put.
yeah, there are a lot of people, they send a request to me on LinkedIn and asking about like how I can move to UK, how I can move to some other countries. So the country where we come from, and that people who are in IT there, for them success is if you are moving out of India. So that means they are successful, right? Because everyone has to join on-site opportunities, somewhere they can meet clients as well. So that's the feeling, and people have a lot of desperation is there, I feel, to come out of India, basically. A lot of things. So I get a lot of requests, and they're like, I'm very desperate. I said, but the market has grown a lot now. That doesn't make sense, a lot of sense. So you need to prioritize, right? What exactly you're looking for from the on-site opportunity. Because previously it was about money for us. If we go out, we can earn some money, good money, and we can meet to clients also. That was all the things was going in our mind. But now I have seen the jobs and the projects are huge in India. What do you think about this?
That's very, very true. And yes, I get approached a lot, as you said. Uh,
Okay.
I try to help everyone as much as I can. I cannot give anyone a job, but I try to give information to people as to that would help them take a decision. Uh, what I don't like to tell people is sometimes people say that, hey, I have an offer which is giving me XYZ. Is this a good offer? Now, I don't like to take a call on that because everyone has a different lifestyle, everyone has a different experience and exposure, and even expectation for that matter. So I don't want to tell them that this is too less, and they might come back tomorrow saying that you did not help me or you sabotaged me. Or I might tell them that this is sufficient, and then they come and then they start to struggle, right? So I that's the only question which I hesitate and I try not to answer people. I tell them that, see, you have to look at the expenses. This is the website where you can find the rental houses. This is the website where you can find buy houses or cars or grocery, etc. So take an idea from here as to what will be your living expenses. On top of that, like all the countries have income tax calculators, right? So you use that, see what you are going to earn, what you're going to get in hand, what is the expenses. If you feel it is worth for you, then fine, take the call. But I'm not going to take that call for you. The second part of it, yes, I left India in 2015. At the time, the
Mm.
salaries were not high. The salaries were not at all high. Like it would take me years to get to a decent salary that will enable me to a point where I can have a property or a nice big car. So yes, money was my motivation, and then of course you want to travel and see the world. That's the second motivation, I'd say. So I got an opportunity, thankfully, and I moved out of UK. I moved out of India. I came to London, and when and now I think I would say that shift has happened right before COVID time, like 2018-19. That's when you started seeing that
Yeah.
spike in the salaries in India. So now salaries in India are massive. They're very, very nice. And if I was there in that same situation, I might have not, like, my motivation might still be there to come out of India, but it would not be for earning money because you earn a lot of money in India also now. Taxes are less than a lot of countries. I'm not going to name names,
It is.
but in India, taxes are less compared to a lot of other countries. And then it So what you earn, what you pay in the tax, and then there is lifestyle. For Indians, I think food is a very important thing. It's part of our lives. If you are a very foodie person, you will always struggle. Like being in London, I think it's again one of the unicorns where you'll find all the cuisines, good food, cheap food everywhere. But it's not the case on all of Earth. So, uh, food, festival, people, friends, family, you always struggle somewhere. So if somebody wants to travel, I think money is should not be the motivation now. That you can earn a decent amount of money in India. For other things, yes, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. It depends on case to case. And my sincere suggestion would be don't make it a pride issue that you have to be like I've seen people who are like, no, but it's a matter of pride. I mean, it's not good on resume. I said, no, nobody looks at your resume saying that how much time have you spent out of India? Like, no, I've taken so many interviews, I've never even looked at that. And nobody even asked me, like, how long have you lived out of India? That's never been a question. The question is what you know, what you don't know, what can you do for us?
I think it's a myth. It's a myth. People say like if you have worked for on-site, it will have an impact on the CV. But
No, I
yeah,
think
as you
it
said, it
might
never
have been
happened.
true back in, I don't know, 1990, 95,
Mm.
2000s, early 2000. But definitely, I would say by the time I've been in the industry, I don't think that has been the case. I've never made it a matter of pride, so to say, right? That's the wrong motivation for it.
So it happens like, and they see a lot of friends also. Oh, he's going. Why I'm not getting that opportunity? I should also get an opportunity. But now I've seen the on-site opportunity has become less as well because clients are understanding. Like previously, if you're in a project, Anurag, they want you to meet. They want someone in the office so that they can help them, right, to doing the implementation, to taking the requirements. So it was necessary for them to have an on-site engineer. That's the reason this model was. But now after COVID, so they came to know when you are away and when you're sitting offshore also, we can handle that.
Yes.
And I have seen there is a drastic changes, or the trend is low now
Yeah.
of people coming outside or getting an opportunity outside. That's the reason they are getting money, and clients are like, instead of bringing them here,
Hmm.
we can give them a lot of money there itself.
Right.
They will be happy. It's a win-win situation for both of them, I feel.
No, that's right. And then there are other factors as well. Like uh, I've when any company that's not talking about service now, not talking about IT in general, but uh, any project when it starts at the inception, people throw money at it, like let's get it done. Now it's built, right? Then the next phase comes where you wanna save money out of it. One of the ways to save money is reduce people or move roles to offshore. So I've seen that so many times happening where you like the companies are deciding to move roles offshore to save money. And offshore, I think India is the haven for IT where you get a lot of good skill for slightly less price and you get all the work done. So we've seen that happening multiple number of times and less in India compared to the world. So I think that's again one of the reasons why India is flourishing and there are more jobs, more job security, and yeah, here it's a little more volatile. And these are the things I
I
think
agree.
people don't even realize when they come out of India. Like there are so many things to factor for, and sometimes people don't consider everything. They just come out, and some people struggle, but some are happy to do that. Like not
Yeah.
someone who came, I think, with a young child. They went to Belgium, and now all the schools they were speaking German, so the child struggled a lot. And now this gentleman, he had pulled a lot of strings to get there, so it was not easy for him to say no and go back as well. So these are the things I think sometimes people don't think, and which they should think, right? If you're a family man, it is more like you have to consider for the whole family. Like just shifting on a whim or on a job offer is not is easy.
One of our common friend will, I will not name him.
Of course.
Name it. I will tell you afterwards. So it happens the same. Anurag, for him, he went to Canada, and there he came to know. Okay, the salary what he is getting is very less, and he has to. When he was asking the company to, he wanted to go back to India. They were not allowing him. I don't know why. They have to fill a position, right? And if they hire someone at that position there, it will cost them more. So there were a lot of factors, reasons for it. So he had to resign and come. That was the only option he left with,
Mhm.
and he did not like did the calculation properly, or something was missed, and it
Yeah.
was a
And I
very
think mistakes might happen. You
difficult
can, yeah,
situation.
mistakes might
Yeah,
happen. I mean, I wouldn't blame someone, but I think yes, you should consider a lot of things before you move. Like when I was my journey of UK was coming to an end, and I had to decide what next. I was very much open that okay, I had a certain criteria. If that criteria is met, all good. If it doesn't meet, I'm going back to India because by then the salaries for India is not bad. So I was like, fine, I can do well there as well. So for me, it
yeah.
was not a showstopper, but thankfully I got an opportunity here in Ireland. I moved to Dublin, and I've had a good journey. So since
How is the climate there as compared to London?
quite similar to London, I think we are just not too far away. I would say it's just one level more windy and one level more colder than London because we are right on the
Okay.
coast. London is
Mhm.
more inland, but other than that, times are same, weather is same.
Food? Do you miss food?
Uh,
I have heard like in
well,
Ireland, Indian foods where you used to live
well, in
in
Ireland, I
London.
think see, London has had Indian people and Indian
Mhm.
food for I don't know hundreds of years. Ireland, I don't think it was that old. So in Ireland, I think a lot of people and students and have started coming in masses, not much late. It's been sort of recent, so it's growing. I say like in even while I was here, I've seen a few restaurants open up, which are quite nice. So it's happening. That shift is happening. So hopefully in time there will be better food for everyone. But there are some very good restaurants. I would not say that. It's just not as prevalent or as common that you'll find in London.
Perfect. So we are running out of time. We have 2 minutes left. So I don't want to, on Saturday in the evening, I don't want to take a lot of time of yours. So one thing, Anurag, like 10 years, it's been like 10 years, and as you said, you feel very thankful to service now, community, everything. But how you have kept this maintained this what do you say, your position, and how you see it, like basically if someone wants to join the community, and if they have an aspiration to become like you, an MVP, so what exactly they should focus on?
So I think don't try to become like me. That's my first thing, right? Be your own person, because if you try to become like me, right, you become an MVP. What next, right? So you need your own motivation to keep powering you forward. That's my first thing. Find your motivation. Why you do what you do. So I started helping on the community because I was one of the person who knew ServiceNow, who was working on ServiceNow. I had a team of 4 or 5 developers back then who used to take technical help from me multiple times a day. Then I started getting approached from other people in the project, then some other projects out of my program as well. They would reach out. So, see, just to reach out that, see, this is a problem. Can you help? Sometimes I was able to help, sometimes I was not. Um, so that's when I saw the ServiceNow community, and I would see certain question that I could answer, and I thought that I'm already helping people around me, then some more people around me in the company. Why shouldn't I go ahead and help here? Like, if I help here, I'm helping everyone. So that's how I started, and I started enjoying it. I started enjoying helping people. I used to have good discussions. So that was my motivation. I enjoyed helping people. If one of the years, God forbid, if I was not MVP, nothing would change because that incentive and the price is very good and I enjoy it. But my true enjoyment and satisfaction comes from helping people. I see a person, I see just a simple thing. If you are on the road and somebody trips and fall in front of you, you will lend your hand and pick them up, right?
Right.
That is as simple as that, regardless of whether that person thanks you, doesn't thank you, right? Because that's just who you are. I enjoy helping people, so that's what my motivation is. I kept helping people, and ServiceNow community has evolved. Like initially it was question answers, then it was articles, blogs, videos, now podcasts and meetups. Like there are so many ways you can help. So if you look at me, I'm mostly in the ServiceNow community question answer article space. But there are so many other things you can do. Some people enjoy creating videos and contents. You can do that. So find your motivation, and that will help you uh, become an MVP or even more, right? You have to
Yeah.
contribute to the ecosystem. And one final thing I'd say is be humble. Like, uh, don't let the success get to you, and don't let the failure get to you as well. If you're not an MVP this year, you'll be in next year, right? Because you might put in a lot of effort and you don't get to it, and then you just quit it. If MVP is your motivation, you that might happen. But if you just enjoy what you're doing, whatever way you are contributing, you keep doing it, you'll get there eventually. And be humble in
Yeah.
your approach, be thankful. And yeah, that's what I would say.
So I started with, like, as you said, you should have your goal. So I was feeling like I should create a channel. I should do a podcast because I'm good at it. I'm good at speaking. So Anurag, I was thinking everyone is doing a podcast, right? What should differ my podcast? So I thought, okay, there are a lot of people who are very, very busy in their own life, right? So one of our friend, let's say Rohit Gira, he's also very, smart guy like you, good at service now, but he is not a community member that often, right? Because he's not, he's a busy guy maybe, and he does not wants to give that much time, maybe his reasons. But we know him, like he's so good at in service now. So I thought, like, I will open up a session, this coffee with Amar, like that, and I will try to bring people like them, like, so Nilesh Satam was there, you know him. He's in
Yeah,
service now
Nilesh, I
space
know very well.
yeah, from 15, 20 years they are there. So listening to them, people really like it. Last time Roberto was there, he's good at it in service now, but so I my motivation is more like there are a lot of people's recognized people, we need to bring them and give some recognition from here, so that he gets more opportunity outside as well. And I just want to make ServiceNow community members, other members, these people are also there in the space, ServiceNow space. So there are a lot
Yeah,
of people like this, right? And most of them are from our company, I get, because that was the company
yeah.
from where ServiceNow
True.
started, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Perfect, Anurag. Anything else? We should end
Yeah,
it.
I think I'm good. And again, Amar, thank you for having me. It's been a great conversation. I hope your channel does really, really well, and you also, do well and achieve all your goals that you set out for.
Thank you, Anurag, and thanks for inviting it, because you said you have to be humble. So I see that you are a very humble person, very humble. Because
Thank you very much.
anytime I reach out to you, you are always there to help me. I've seen that it's been like 7, 8 years I am reaching out to you. We never spoke, like we had spoken over the Teams call or
Yeah.
phones, but this is first time we are meeting in person.
Yes, I think
Yeah.
so too. Yeah, I can't remember when was it last that we spoke or worked for a same company for that matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think everybody is busy. It's just nice to hear from someone from back in the days. And when that happens, see, like, do what you can.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Anurag. I will just end the stream.